So the big question is this: how do real estate investors who don't have a ton of free time, don't have access to off-market deals, and didn't start life on third base, how do we conservatively grow our real estate business to support our families, finally leave the corporate rat race, and build a legacy? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. I'm Ed Matthews, and this is Real Estate Underground. Greetings and salutations, Real Estate Undergrounders. It is Ed Matthews with the Real Estate Underground. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. With me today is Carl Christian of the Nice Agent Company, as well as Nice Property Management. We're going to talk about all of it above, based down in Florida. He's in Pembroke Pines, which is actually one of my favorite places on earth. Carl, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you again for everybody that's listening to us. I cannot wait so we can learn from each other, because that's what we do here.
Carl, for those folks who haven't discovered you yet, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and your background?
I am from Haiti originally. I came in this country in August 2000, so almost 25 years. And the story started with me, of course, getting into university. I went to FIU, and then from there, somebody told me, why don't you do real estate? And I'm like, no, I'm not doing real estate because I don't like to sell things and then wait for commission. He's like, why don't you do it? And then he said, why don't you call my brother-in-law? And then he will actually teach you real estate. I'm like, whatever you say, man. And then he got me with the brother-in-law. And then before you know it, here I am 20 years later, doing nothing but this. I always, in my book, because I hold a book, I have a whole chapter about him to say thank you, because he's no longer with us today.
Oh.
But everything that I've achieved was just because of that one conversation.
Isn't it amazing that it can be just that one inflection point? I was confronted by a real estate agent because I was wasting her time, Amy Rio. And I tell this story all the time, but I'll tell you the short version. So she brought me around. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad in like 2008, and it took me 3 years to ratchet up the courage to actually do the deal, right, and get one done. And I met this very generous real estate agent. Her name's Amy Rio. She's gigantic now, but back then she was a teeny tiny, she probably had 4 or 5 agents at that point. And so she brought me around to 20, 25 different properties. She finally, after the 24th property, brought me to this one property on Clark Street, East Hartford, Connecticut. And I walked around and I was finding every excuse I could think of not buy. And it all boiled down to the fact that I was terrified. She finally took out a pen and put a contract on the hood of my truck when I started making excuses. And she said, sign this contract or never call me again. And that was in January of 2011, or maybe December of 2010. So I'm like, more than a foot taller than her. She scared the living daylights out of me. And at that moment, I was more afraid of Amy Rio than I was of actually taking responsibility for a property. And so I signed the contract. So it's amazing. Just that one thing can launch you into something amazing.
My very first property was the same thing. One of the agent of the office went to show it to someone, and he came back and he was like, Carl, you need to buy this house. I'm a realtor and I was successful, but I'm going to tell everybody I have never bought a house yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, draw the contract. I never seen the house. He drew the contract. I signed. We went to the bank. Everything is going on. I still haven't seen the house. We closed. I still haven't seen the house because I'm still scared. And I went to Connecticut, like the day of closing, I actually traveled to Connecticut. 2 weeks later, I came back and I said, let me go see the house. And then I opened the door and I'm like, my God, what did I buy? And of course, great. I'm in. Everything is good. And I'm going to tell you the story. And that's what I want all the listeners to understand. That little thing in your heart that makes you scared, it's actually mean this is what you need to do. So I got in that house, started working on it, gutted it out, do all those kind of things, and the market crashed a year and a half later. That property, I bought it for $370, and it was worth $190 in 2009 or 2010. Today, that property is worth $850,000, and I don't want to sell it.
Why would you?
So I tell everybody is take that action, take it, just trust your guts, always analyze that you're not going to put yourself into things that you should not be able to. We want you to get the knowledge, but when you get that first step and you're scared, trust in someone like Ed trusts Amy. I trust my other agent, because one thing that somebody always told me, which is my dad, and I always remember that, before you believe in yourself, find that one person that believes in you and just close your eyes. And that sometimes you just have to go for it.
It is. Yeah. Sometimes the advice you get, you should actually listen to it. We'll talk more about that later in the show. It's interesting because we're entering into a recessionary period again, and opinions vary on what's going on with the economy and how it's going to affect housing. I'm curious, down in Florida, the stories up here in the Northeast about what's going on down there is that you guys are going through a pretty bumpy time, particularly in the multifamily world, but I don't know about the single family. What are you seeing in your market?
Single family, it's like different spots. An example, I have a property I've listed in the same city. Those properties are probably 10 minutes apart from each other. Yeah. 775,000 been sitting on the market for 3 months. $920,000 just received a cash offer for 950 in 2 days. It's just like what I'm seeing is what I tell everybody. It is not a property issue right now. It's a change of demographic in South Florida. So the money is moving to South Florida. If you have a very high-end product, it's going to sell. But the people that can afford the 300, 400, 500,000, they cannot find a property because they're too high or they cannot afford what's on there. So this is what's going on in the single family. There's cities in the single family that are dropping consistently, like Central Florida, because we are also in Orlando, Haines City, a little bit of Tampa, like Lakeland, all of those things, they are dropping fast. Multifamily, it's a case by case. The reason why, if somebody had a great loan, they're not interested in selling.
Right.
If somebody had those ARN, right now you just find them and knock on their door because they are struggling. Because what happened is the rental market took a dive. And because the rental market took a dive, now those guys cannot pay their interest-free loan. They cannot do all of those things. And here it is. They are having a hard time. I see, like yesterday, I found a property in Fort Pierce, $429,000, 4 units, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, 2-1, 3-1, and a 1-1. The ROI, gross ROI, people, was 25%. By the time I call my partner and then we write it up, it's a pending sale. Right. So yeah, you have those things that are coming in the market.
Yeah. And in terms of one of the great things about being a realtor, and I'm not one actually, is that you get access to a whole bunch of deals before guys like me get to see them.
It's true.
Yeah, and I hear it in your laugh, right?
No, I know the reason why I said it's true. It's because you see how they tell you a doctor should not operate on themselves? It's the same thing when I'm an investor and I'm a realtor, and I'll be telling you, Ed, it's very difficult for the investor of me to take precedence. They're just like, what happened is, let's pretend I found a good deal and I know Ed is on the market.
Yep.
I will call you first. And then you say you're going to buy it, no problem.
Why did I not save this?
My purpose is to help people. So me helping you is so on top of my list that I become second all the time. And that I lost so many great deals. I cannot say I lost because I made so many good friends because I gave it to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good thing, but also a bad thing.
Man, if you send me deals that you would buy yourself, you and I are going to be very good friends. So in terms of the types of properties that you like to focus on, and it sounds like it's a wide array of things, but I'm curious, where do you focus?
I started in a single family. I did great buying properties at the court auctions. I was doing good for almost 10 years. Percentage was over 20, 30%. Then it got saturated because everybody knew Florida was great at auction. Now I'm doing the transition into multifamily, and I feel like it's about to be better for me. I think my last move is going to be subdivisions. So my 5-year plan is getting a few 5 units, 10 units in my portfolio. And then I'm going to go to building a subdivision and then resell.
Yeah. A good friend of mine, Dave DeVito, he was telling me about his old boss at Keller Williams. Gary Keller was walking around in a t-shirt at least 2 or 3 years ago that said, buy dirt. Right.
Yep.
And I took that as the cue. Okay. So Keller probably knows what he's talking about. That's when we started to get into land as well. It's interesting, a little bit stressful, but the payoff is wonderful.
I'll tell you the greatest story I know about dirt. The Desert family down in Miami, those guys, they own a lot of land. I'm going to tell you what happened to the great-grandfather when things were happening, the Great Depression, and people were moving and buying land to crop because they wanted to grow stuff. The only thing you could afford was sand by the beach. And everybody told, like, you crazy. Why would you buy those things? Because that doesn't make any sense. You cannot grow anything. You will just die because you're not going to eat. And he just kept buying them for cheap. And today, He owns almost a city on the beach. And this is the family legacy. So yeah, you buy dirt, man.
They are not
So
making any more. In fact, if you buy into global warming, they're making less. So I am curious about insurance because that's one thing that has been on everyone's mind. How is your business affected by the insurance issues and the fact that it's going up?
It is hard. We have a 6 unit down in Miami. We're trying to get money out of it right now, and we cannot because for us to get wind insurance, we have to go to Lloyd's in London.
Oh,
that's how crazy that is. The wind portion is $18,000. A 2-story building, 6 unit, barely like 10,000 square feet. And you're paying like almost $2,000 a month just for wind insurance, and you still have to carry hazard and flood. So at the end of the day, almost 2 units are paying just for insurance. It doesn't make sense. So yeah, we are struggling a little bit, but on the single family side, I see it like moderating a little bit. Before it was crazy, but now it's getting back to a little bit of normal because everybody's doing their roof, everybody's doing their windows and stuff. But on the multifamily, it's hard, man. If you're buying 2-3 stories building, you're in trouble.
18,000 just for wind. Yeah, $2,000 on a 6 unit.
My advice to everybody is stomach the pain. We've been there. I don't know if it's because I survived 2008. Stomach the pain. Sooner or later, something great will happen. It's just the way it is. I'll tell you my personal story. For the past 2 weeks, things have been going crazy. I have a property that the city have a lien on. We're trying to fight the city. All of my money is in that property. And now I don't know what to do. I'm stressed. And then yesterday, some other agents create something bad. And then I'm like, everything is going crazy. Boom, this morning I woke up. The city approved the lien amnesty. The agent situation got resolved. So stomach the pain. This is where you lean on your friends. You lean on good people like Ed, call people, send in emails, text messages. I cannot say we, but there's a lot of people that's been through what you're going through or been through worse.
Yeah, for sure. I find that is so true, right? Is that the people around you, especially people that have been, like I liken real estate investing to reading a book. I'm a few chapters ahead of somebody else, but we're all reading the same book, right? Yeah. And the fact is that I rely heavily on people who've been doing this, who are A, smarter than me, and B, have been doing it longer to go, okay, this is the problem I have. Have you seen this before? And do I survive this? And invariably they say, yeah, this too shall pass, and take a breath, and you need some capital. We'll figure that out. But other than that, it's going to be okay. A lot of people survived 2008. A lot of people survived 1991. A lot of people survived 88, and so on and so forth. And the things that, and it's a colloquialism, but it's true. And that is the best time to buy real estate was 10 years ago, but the best time is right now. And the whole blood in the streets metaphor is true, right? When people are scared and they start running, that is when investors make a lot of money. And so you just have to be a little bit pragmatic and you have to be disciplined. But if you find the right assets and you have a long-term view, you can weather just about everything.
Yep.
Okay, let's get into the lightning round. I'm always curious about leaders and how their minds work and all that from a purpose perspective. Obviously, Carl, you're a very successful professional in the real estate world, and I'm sure the mortgage is paid and the bills are paid and the kids' college is paid for and all that, but you still get up in the morning on Monday. I'm curious about what drives you. What's your purpose?
I have a saying that if I go across somebody's life, even if that person have to leave me, they have to leave with more than they came in with. So every morning I wake up is, who can I impact today?
Yeah.
And I try my hardest, man, to do that. Help someone, find someone that needs something that I can deliver. It is a very hard job for anybody that is in that mindset because they know sometimes you get slapped around because of it. But I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you why I do what I do. And I'm going to play something that just happened this morning, actually. And I think people would understand what it means. Like if somebody can hear this.
So happy. I thank you very much for everything. I thank the Lord Jesus for putting this amazing idea in your head for me, for my family. I thank you. God bless you and your work.
So this property that we were gonna flip, and that lady happened to be one of my agents. She never bought a property in her life. She doesn't make any money. She's not doing really good. And I said, you know what? This is all yours. Do it. And this morning, finally, she got approved for the mortgage. Everything is good. And this is what I wake up for every single.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
A motivated seller just filled out your web form. If you call back within 5 minutes, you're nearly 4 times more likely to get that seller appointment. But delay your follow-up by even just 10 minutes? Forget it. You're toast. Ella Vista Connect calls that lead back in 60 seconds, qualifies them, and schedules your meeting. Find out how much slow follow-up is costing you. Free calculator at ellavista.com/underground.
That's amazing. And congratulations on your success in helping people. Obviously, your parents brought you up right, but I'm always curious about mentors, whether they be your parents or just people that you met in your travels. I'm curious about the best advice you ever got and who gave it to you.
Believe it or not, everybody is a mentor for me. From the people that brought me up, my dad, my mom, brother, sister, my first broker, Brad Capuzzo. But the best advice I got was doing one of my podcasts. I was interviewing somebody, and his name is James, and he said, Carl, I tried every day to be the person that I needed 20 years ago.
Good.
That is like,
Yeah,
just close your eyes and think 20 years ago what you knew and the person that you were looking for, and that person did not show up. There's somebody right now in that same position, just be that person for them. And now you're thinking like, man, if I had met this guy 20 years ago and this guy could help me buy a house, where would I be today?
Right.
And that's the advice that I got, and it was from him.
Wow. That's profound. That's really good. I think we learn from our mistakes even more than we do from our successes. And so I'm curious about professionally, what's the biggest mistake? What's a decision you'd love to have back? And how did you fix it? How'd you recover?
I bought a piece of property because I have a saying in my life: excitement kills deals. Never do anything while you're excited, because being excited is like being angry or being in love. You don't know what you're doing.
So true.
And got excited at a piece of land that was 3.5 acres in the city of Fort Pierce. And I pulled the trigger on it. Paid for the architect. I paid for everything, to find out after spending so much money that the city does not allow any subdivision under 5 acres. So that one was the biggest mistake, because I overpaid for the property. I paid for all of the plans and stuff. And how did I recover from it is I took the emotion out. I knew it was the time to get out of it. And with the guy that came to buy it, I told him, like, look, instead of you giving me the whole money up front, why don't I finance half of it and you can go buy something else? And he happened to agree.
Okay. Yeah, that's smart. Again, the long view, what drives a lot of real estate success. Right on. That's awesome. I'm also curious about how you sharpen the saw, so to speak. What book is on your nightstand or your virtual nightstand, whether it be an iPhone, Android, whatever? And what authors or creators are you paying attention to?
I read a lot, but right now I cannot remember the name of the author, because my coach actually sent me this book. It's called Raging Referrals. It's basically this guy is teaching you a system that he created. We do it, but we didn't build a system out of it, which is the 3-2-1-1 system. If you wake up every morning and you touch base with 3 people that you know every single morning, talk about your business, about their life. And if you wake up every morning and you try to put 2 new people into your database, whether it's the guy when you're pumping gas and you ask him how you're doing and get his phone number and email or whoever it is. If you wake up every morning and you try to refer one person to a friend of yours or a business, and you do not go to bed without getting one referral from someone every day of your life. And then when I'm reading the book, I'm still reading it and I'm doing the math in my head, Ed. Imagine you talk to 3 people every day and you do this for 300 days. That's 900. Imagine that you refer one person to a business every day. You do it for 300. That's 300 referrals you gave away. You know, the amount of blessing that you will get back is just, it's speechless. Like, you cannot even put a price on it. Yes, that's what I'm reading right now.
Oh, that's excellent. Yeah, I just looked it up. It's Brandon Barnum.
Brandon.
If you help enough people get where they want to go, they too, in turn, will help you get where you want to go.
Yep.
And obviously, man, you've built one heck of a business, and congratulations for that.
Okay, man.
I'm curious about what success means to you. How do you define it in your life?
People. My business partner right now on the tax side, because we own the nice tax company as well. She used to be an employee of mine. Now she's family. She owned the business. The nice property management is being run by my wife. I just actually partnered with someone else for the first time. I sold a part of it. Alicia is amazing. She's going to take this business to a whole different level. The nice construction management, it is a high school mate of mine that is running it. And the nice agent is a high school mate of mine also that is the office manager. So for me, success is how many people can I bring on with me for the journey, just the way I am.
Wow, that's great. And the thing is, though, it is generous, but it's also smart, right? Because entrepreneurial ADD is a real thing. I have it, right? The rule I made years ago was I'm not going to start a company unless I know the human being that's going to be responsible for it, not named me, Ed Matthews. And so that is what helped separate getting spread too thin versus diversifying and growing. Yeah.
Well, you said that. I had one of my agent in the office. She's trying to do everything. So I'm telling her, no, you cannot. Just focus on real estate and do. And then she turned it on me. She was like, what about you? You own all of those businesses. Yeah. And I'm like, this is the thing that I want you to understand. When was the last time you called me and say, Carl, can I talk to you? And I said, no, I'm busy doing taxes. The property management, I have no idea where the doors are. Like I do meetings, but I don't drive to properties. I do the construction management. I barely know which clients we have. It's because the truth is I'm not doing all of those things. I'm building people through all those things. It is doable. You cannot be that one-top shop. The best book to read to understand that is Michael Gerber, E-Myth Revisited. It will make you understand that you have to separate the technician out of you from the entrepreneur you're trying to become.
Yep.
It's very important.
And the other book that I'll point you to is Dan Sullivan's Who Not How. It's very similar concept. It's an excellent book. And it talks about exactly what you're talking about, how to scale without totally spreading yourself too thin. We've talked about real estate for a whole bunch of time now. I could go for days with this. You're a wealth of information, and thank you for that on behalf of our audience. But when you're not talking about real estate, what do you like to do? What's fun?
I'm addicted. I'll use the word. I'm addicted. I'm a golfer, man. I love golf, and then that's what I do. But to be honest, it's all about family. I built a loving foundation around me, very close circle. And my daughter, every Sunday we go out. We go to different cafes so we can have breakfast. I never knew there were so many breakfast spots in Florida, but there's a lot. It is very important to me that the people around me are well-founded, they love, because my values are very important. And you're going to see on each company, love is actually one of the values that we live by. If you don't love the people you're doing it with and for, don't be in it.
Yeah, and you live in the right part of the world. So the reason I know Pembroke Pines is because of Pembroke Lakes Golf Course. And,
I love to go there.
My buddy and I used to go there at least once a year. All right, man, that's awesome. So if people want to learn more about you or your companies, what's the best way to get in touch?
If you want to know about me, you can always go on Amazon and buy my book. This is the first 40 years of my life, The Nice Life of Carl Christian. That would give you the deep personal part of me. If you want to know about my business, it's easy to find me, theniceagent.com. I'm on all social media, and I want everybody that is listening, I'm here for you. Doesn't mean you have to call me because you want to buy a property. You want to have an advice. You want me to tell you how to do something. I'm a coach by heart. I will always give my information to you. So please do not hesitate. You can Google The Nice Agent Pembroke Pines or The Nice Agent Carl Christian, and you see everything about.
Awesome. Carl Christian, congratulations on your business and continued good fortune, my friend. It's been a pleasure to speak with you.
I love the podcast, man. I enjoy what you're doing. So please keep doing it.
Thank you.
This has been the Real Estate Underground. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. It helps us grow. Until next time, Undergrounders, remember your real estate journey begins with a simple step forward. Now get to it. Bye for now.
This has been the Real Estate Underground. Don't forget to subscribe. It helps us grow. Until next time, Undergrounders, remember your real estate journey begins with a simple step forward. Now get to it. Bye for now.